know your background?
My school, Christian school, Christian parents, Christian disciplines, Christian morality, Christian everything. But one thing about my background was that my parents still had that salient traditional outlook to life. I watched my father preach in church maybe only once. And he had to do it because somebody didn't show up, you know. As a matter of fact, I don't think he really knew the damage religion was going to do to our people, you know. So I'll just say my background is just that. I had to go to school, colonial school, a very good colonial school. Not a very bad colonial school as we have it now, which I am a bit sorry for, because when a colonial school has wasted a lot of my life in view of the fact that colonialism wouldn't allow me to express myself as I wanted to, you know. So I would say it would waste a lot of my life. Went to school, left school, did school SAT, passed grade 3, which was unnecessary after all. Only they have to pay me £12.10, £2.10 extra, that's all, you know. Then I went to London, which I don't want to mention. I don't want to mention for you now because it's important for people to know. And if I didn't go to London, I won't be able to really tell them that one doesn't have to go to London to be what you have to be. See, I went to London, it's okay, fine, but I'm not playing London music now. Everybody calls my music new music in Europe, where I went to school. Because I had to leave all that education behind. It's important for people to understand that. I'll give that credit to my mother. When I was playing jazz in this country, you know, I was never making money. I was going to ask her, Mama, give me money, give me money. Then she told me, Fela, don't you think I have to go and start to play high life, man? Because, you know, this jazz don't give me money. I will listen, you know. And then he said, Fela, why don't you incorporate this jazz into your high life that you say you know, that you're doing, you know? I thought about it, then I started what we call high life jazz then, you know, Akula Lubitos. Then the next stage of this music was my visit to America when I took the Akula Lubitos music there in '69. When I got there, I found out I knew so many things about the secret of the music industry, so many secrets about black people in the music industry. I saw the many secrets about African people in the music industry. I now saw what people have to do before you can make it in the music industry. Then I met a woman, Sandra, taught me a lot about blackism, gave me books to read, Malcolm X, and I saw so many intricacies and outlets, and I saw this some more secrets now on why we Africans are so low.
Do you believe Africans are low?
Economically, yes.
Not otherwise?
Not otherwise. I mean, low financially, bread-wise, food, hunger. But when you start getting very hungry for a long time, then you start getting low mentally too. You see, and we don't want that to happen. That's why we have to stay on this struggle. Then I was reading these books. I found out in my analysis of myself, I have to sit down and think about myself. Say, what am I doing? Am I really playing African music? Then I found out the failure of the Akula Lubitos in America '69. Then I gave up. I said I have to start to rethink and reanalyze myself. I started to write new music. And I started to think of African music in its real context. '69. I came back to Nigeria 70. I was still trying to get it together.
Not yet with it.
At that time, it's 70, see. So I shocked many people in Nigeria then because I lost a lot of crowd but they didn't know what I was doing. And then it started to formalize in my mind, you know. Then I got so many sounds going. Then I released my first sound into the market to see what the people felt about what I've been doing.
Yankoku, right?
Yes, Yankoku. That was my arrival in that kind of scene. And since then, it has been developing and improving since.
Strictly Afrobeat.
Oh, strictly. I say Afrobeat is not just, you see, I've stopped calling it Afrobeat. It's now African music. Yes, it's not Afrobeat because in the night we hold a crowd for so many hours because we play different rhythms of African context, you see.
So would you say that without this musical talent of yours, there would not have been anybody called Fela? Among them, you are Fela, all right, but it sort of made what you are today. That musical part of it, that musical talent you've got, you owe your success to it.
Not only, I don't owe my success only to musical talent, I owe my success to my new thoughts. See, if I went to London and I did classical music, I came back and I was in NBC, nobody will know what I was doing, I would still be a foolish man. But you see, that's what I'm saying. Many Africans have a lot of knowledge. Many Africans have a lot of talent. Many doctors are in the profession because their fathers want them to be doctors. Many lawyers are there because their parents want them to be lawyers. They're not there because they want to do what they want to do. See? So we don't have the best from African people. African people just want certificate. They don't want to really express themselves in the things they want to do and they need to do. And I don't blame them too. It's their environment, the government, what they present to them, the education. African man has to put his hands for the back before he gets anything, you know. So I understand all that, but you see, we have to change the system to bring the African talent up. What I'm doing is not great. You see,
Well, people think what you're doing is great.
okay, because, okay, in the environment, yeah, but I don't think so. I think people can do better if they're given the right knowledge to see the new light.
But would you think it has attributed a bit to your success?
Yes, what I've now learned and what I've now known has now portrayed my ideas. You see, if I was just talking and I didn't have my art to support it.
You mean above all, you can paint, you're an artist?
No, I mean music. Yeah, music is painting, you know.
In the mind?
High form of painting.
Abstract sort of.
Yeah.
Could you explain what your music entails? People really want to know. I mean, would they listen to your music, they hear your music trips them, you know, gives them the right feeling. But we don't know what it really entails. Is it rock or jazz or apala? What is it?
Africa.
I know you said it's African.
It's just Africa, man. You see, if you people know what I'm thinking when I write my music, you will understand what I'm doing. You see, when I listen to music on the radio at any time, I listen to traditional music. I don't listen to rock. I listen to jazz. Because jazz is African music. The white Americans called it jazz at the beginning because they said jazz is nonsense. Now they are saying jazz is American culture, you see. They have called it before, now it is good. So I listen to two kinds of music in my life. African traditional music and jazz. Now, it's from this traditional music that I get a lot of insight into the power of the African man's mind when art is concerned. And it's not easy for me to say it now or prove it now, but I'm going to prove it to this world, man, one day, and they will see what I'm talking about.
Mr.
Success of this radio, bugging people with foreign music all the time is killing our people. Now look at this shrine, see how full it is. All these people who play this beat music don't pull crowd like this because people want to hear music of their country if it's good. It's very important, you see. And it is not for entertainment, it's for listening and thinking.
Can you tell me your sources of inspiration? The main sources of inspiration? Music-wise, creativity-wise?
The suffering of our people.
You just watch people?
The environment, you see, the life of an artist, the work of an artist is the environment. It's a source of inspiration. See, for instance, by an artist's work, one should be able to know the year, around the year the work was produced, which country it was produced, what was really happening at the moment it was produced after so many hundreds of years. That is an artist. It is what is happening at the particular moment that is the main thing. Should be the source of inspiration, whether in painting or in music or in dancing, anything like that. See, so by source of inspiration is what Africa is today. Mass suffering. So everywhere I write, my music is that.
Also, it is believed that your son is very good at playing the saxophone, sort of stepped into his father's shoes. Can you assess yourself with him when you were just starting to play the saxophone?
Oh, I didn't have the fullest encouragement he has. You know, all my kids are given complete freedom. They call me by my first name. They do anything they like. They sleep with women anytime they want to sleep. They tell me about their girlfriends and their boyfriends. I mean, it's complete freedom, you know, so they develop on their own. I think that is what I think life should be, complete freedom for children. Because see, they said children shouldn't do a bad thing, children shouldn't do a good thing. Experience is what is good and what is bad. You know, I would not want him to step into his father's shoes. He's doing exactly what he wants to do, you know. If he wanted to play the sax, I had to ask him to play the sax. He is Fela Anikulapo-Kuti, a complete identity of himself. He has to make himself his own personality, which I must never interfere with. He can listen to me, what I do. He can like what I do. What I do may inspire him. It may be his source of outlook to life, you know. It's my son, you know, so he sees that. You know, I see that, but I don't guide him as such. Ask for advice about the different things, his women, his music, his everything. Yeah. So he's only putting himself together as he's supposed to be as a human being, you know. All this shit of father's shoes, all this, you see, it misleads our people. You know, it doesn't let our people allow the children to do what they want to do. They allow the morality of other nations to guide their children here. You know, they talk about conscience. When you talk of conscience is a national thing. It's not a spiritual thing. You see, when somebody talks about conscience as if it's a spiritual thing, you know. A German man will kill a Nigerian man once there's a war. In the name of conscience, fighting for Germans, but the main thing is that murder, to kill another person is murder. It's against the law of spiritualism. That is the point. But they kill and say conscience guides them. I remember, what is about the killing? So people should be allowed to think their own way and develop their own way, their own style, their own. See, it gives color to the nation. It gives fantastic, yeah.
Also, Mr. Fela, can you assess how many records you've made, updates, and which is your favorite number?
I can't assess. It's impossible. Every number I play is my favorite.
You'll have one with asterisks.
No, my people can bear me out. Sometimes I feel great about the number one night, and I feel good about the number one night. I've not really, because if I don't like the music, I don't play it.
What food do you like best?
Food. What I like best. Oh, wow. Because of what, if I'm very hungry, before you do anything, I eat it like a madman, man. I think hunger guides my food. Sometimes, if I'm very hungry, you give me a hot eba, I destroy it, man. Or you give me hot amala, and they will do, I'm hungry, you know. But when I'm not hungry, what I dislike most is the moi they make this London, I hate it, you know, I can't stand that, you know. I like moi when you leave, you know.
What occasion would you consider the happiest in your life? Rather funny question.
Somebody asked me that one in Italy, which occasion was the happiest day of my life? A reporter, and I told her that on the day that I passed my examination in England, to get the okay that I was coming back home was the happiest day of my life then. But after that interview, I was arrested the next morning by Italian police. So the happiest day of my life was when I was released from jail in Italy. And I can foresee now, you know. But you see, I'm only saying this because maybe I want people to see a point in my life. Because I want to be happy every day. Also, it's difficult to say which is the happiest day of my life.
Also, to date, how many wives have you got?
I think I have 16 left.
Yeah, because they were originally about 27 or 28. Why did they have to leave you?
Retire.
Apart from your immediate family, who is the person that you hold in very high esteem?
Oh, there's some young boys, heavy young boys. One is called ID, one is called Duro, one is called Femi Foto. These three young boys, they've been with me for a long time. When they bought my house, many people left me, you know, when they bought my house because I didn't have bread. Till now, I still don't have enough bread. So many people left me, but these boys stayed, you know, stayed, grew hungry and everything. I dig them so much. And they know, they read a lot of books, history books and African political books, economic books and African things, and they're very vast, you know, knowledge and everything. I dig them, you know. I trust them completely. For now, I trust them completely.
Also, like every other human being, you have your ups and your downs. Like I have my ups and my downs.
Everybody does.
What day has impressed you the most?
On the day my house was burnt, and I was taken straight to the to Abati barracks by the soldiers. Whole confusion. Then I didn't know that my mother was through from the window at that time. And I saw my mother outside the barracks compound there with soldiers standing around her. And she was looking so worried and so like what is happening, you know, like in her old age she was so flabbergasted, you know, her expression, the soldiers, the confusion, the way she was handled, the way she was, oh, I couldn't stand it, man. I can never forget that day.
What's the
look on her face saying, is this the nation we have built, you know, this kind of thing going in my head, you know. And she couldn't do anything about it. I never forget that expression.
What would you call your greatest achievement in life?
On the day I carried my mother's coffin to the down barracks, on the 30th of September 1979, my brother, people of this country didn't know what I faced on that day to do that thing, but I said I had to do it. Let's see, we gave orders to destroy the coffin that was placed in the house when I was in Berlin. See, and I promised I must put it there. So I knew I would succeed in getting it there. Oh, but it was big row, big, wanted to shoot me and everything. And I came out of it. My greatest achievement.
Do you ever get annoyed at all? What is the thing that would really make you mad?
All people try to misrepresent me, I get annoyed, but I soon forget it.
So you're really a mellow person?
Really, I am. But I say I'm mellow, but the point is, why people think I'm not mellow is that when I stick to my point, I don't shift. I'm firm. So people take firmness as madness, firmness as all sorts, but yeah, because they're supposed to honesty around, they want you to come and join and eat inside. No, man. I'm firm. I believe in what I'm doing. I think if somebody is not firm, the society will break up. So we cannot afford it now. At least if I die not succeeding, I would have laid a stamp down for other kids who see light. One of my grandfather's songs, I want to play for a reason, because people didn't know what my grandfather did for this country. I'm talking about JJ, you see. Maybe some schoolboys may read in school their history books, JJ was a reverend, he did missionaries, and yes, you see, he did one thing. He brought Christianity to the Yoruba country, see, which he did through ignorance, you see, because his father told him that he was going to the wrong place. So I would say he was one of those who really helped to destroy our tradition.
Thank you. I've been talking to Mr. Fela Anikulapo-Kuti, the president of Afrobeat in Nigeria, and he's called the chief priest. I hope you enjoyed listening to him, listening to his views, going into him, having an insight of his life, and knowing him. Good night.